Okay. Good evening, friends. Today I've learned from my friends over the previous speakers, and today I have a slide to share with all of you. Those who've heard me before know that I just talk from my heart, and I just I just share. But this time for this book, I hope I get the screen share button in. So I'm just going to share the screen. I think that's the screen. There you go. Okay. So what can you all see? Okay, you can see it. Perfect. Okay, can you all
Can
see
you
my screen?
can you make it a bit bigger? Or I don't know.
How do you do that?
There's on the bottom right. I think there's a zoom or something. Is it?
Shri, there should be a slide master slide at the bottom, full slides, and right at the bottom of the
Oh,
screen.
on my PPT you're saying?
Yep, there should be
No, Shri, just listen to me. You press
Yeah.
Shift F5.
Shift F5.
Shift F5. Yeah, that's all.
That's on the Google Hangout. I should press Shift F5.
No,
On your
Slide.
computer, on your
on
slide,
your slides.
on the Microsoft.
Wait,
Oh, she left. She left the call.
She will join back soon. So sometimes it can drop like that. So during the okay, she joined us again. Good. Welcome back, Sri.
And I got kicked out, and now I'm back. Okay, so let's go with sharing the slide again. I'll just try to increase the font size
Yeah,
maybe.
it's okay. I can just increase a bit.
Yeah.
Is it a F5 doesn't work?
No, actually, I don't know. Sometimes you get kicked out because you try to do something.
Oh, okay.
I think conflict different softwares.
Yeah. No, and my machine is actually getting a bit slow nowadays.
Okay.
Okay, so what do you all see? Let me just peek
Who
into
moved my
this.
cheese?
Okay, screen sharing.
Sri, hello.
Yep.
Yeah, just you go down. There is a 64. Besides the 64%, there is a slideshow. Just press that.
Okay.
On the percentage, you increase percentage, or if not, a slideshow.
This now, can you see it better?
Yeah, you can increase the percentage. Otherwise,
Is this better?
it's better, but you can increase what we are
Okay.
saying.
Anyway, you all don't need to actually read it. I'll send you the slide
Yeah.
later. You can read
Yes,
it.
yes. No worries.
Just you
Yes.
can explain. You
It's
can explain.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
you can just
Yes.
listen.
Okay. No problem.
So basically, today I was just remembered this book I read almost 20 years ago, and it came to me because a friend of ours shared about the 1 Minute Manager a while ago, and it like sort of the authors were friends, and that's how they came about with the story. And then I remembered this book, which I wanted to share. So basically, this story, I'll tell you a little bit about what the story is about. So the book is Who Moved My Cheese? For those of you who are interested to go look it up later on, you can find it online as well nowadays. So it's called an amazing because it's about mouse and cheese and going through a maze. So it's an amazing way to deal with change in your work and life. So about the story. So what's the story about in very short? Who Moved My Cheese is a small story that reveals the profound truths about change. So it's about like four characters, who two of them are mice, and two of them are like little people the size of mice, simply because the mouse has very primitive brain. They're just straightforward, and we human beings have a complex brain where we have our emotions. We add like what happens to us in life, and it sort of like adds on different dimensions in our brain. So these four characters basically are like four imaginary people inside us. Each of us have this. So one is the mouse, who is called Sniff. So sometimes we are like Sniff, and we can sniff out stuff like changes that happen early on. Sometimes we are like Scurry, who is the other mouse, who scurries into action immediately whenever there's something to happen. And then there are the two people. One is called Hem, and Hem is the type of person, or the type of nature in us, who denies and resists change, as he fears that something is always bad is going to happen. So he always just wants to hold on to what is there with him. And Haw is the person who learns to adapt in time when he sees the change can lead to something better. So it's based on like these four characters, which are four things in us. And so it's about like bringing the Haw out in all of us. And that's what the story is about. So let me just go through the pointers or what I learned. Basically, it's about these four characters who are in a maze, and they run through the maze to find their cheese, because mice likes cheese. So the in this story, cheese is a metaphor for what you want in your own life. So what we want in our life is our cheese. So for us, it may be money, possession, good health, a loving relationship, a spiritual peace of mind. So we're all in this journey of life looking for something, and that's how we end up in QL to begin with. So because we're still looking for something. And so the maze is the the path in which we are looking. So it may be the organization you work in, the family, or the community. So in this story, these are the four. They search all around the maze and they find cheese. So the mouse, they find the cheese and they're very happy and they eat it. And the people, they also find the cheese in the like a cheese station, and they're happy with the cheese as well. The difference is the mouse, every day they go and they were eating the cheese, and the Sniff could sniff out that yes, the cheese is changing, and Scurry, the other mouse, also knew the cheese was changing. But the two little people, human beings that they are, what they did was they said, oh, this is cheese. And then after a while, they said, oh, this is my cheese. So they started getting possessive about the cheese that was there in the cheese station. And after a while, that possession became arrogance. They were like, this is my cheese, and nobody can take it away from me. And like parallelly, if we relate it to our material objects or our stuff in life, so this is like a metaphor. And then after a while, they brought all their friends and everything. They built their home around the cheese, their whole community around the cheese. So their whole life revolved around this cheese station. And they were very arrogant that this is my cheese and it's going to be there forever. And so they were thinking that, okay, I'm set for life and I'm going to live happily ever after. But what happens one day is that one day they go to the cheese station and they found that all the cheese, there was no cheese in the cheese station. So if there was no cheese in the cheese station, the mice first came and saw, oh, there's no cheese in the cheese station. And then the mice went, okay, well, it was getting over anyway. Let's just go. So Sniff could sniff out. He was trying to sniff out where's the cheese. And Scurry was scurrying as fast as he could, and Sniff would follow him to try to find where there is new cheese. So they left immediately because they're mice, they have a very primitive brain, and off they went to search there for their cheese. Then Hem and Haw came to the same place, and they found that there was no cheese in the cheese station. So how do they react, being human beings? So the first thing is Hem said, it's not fair. How can they move my cheese? And so, that's like the name of the book, right? Who moved my cheese? So he not realizing that cheese, like every other commodity, if you keep eating the cheese, it has to get over someday. So, I mean, if you take it as a literal cheese. And so Hem just couldn't believe, and he was very adamant that it was somebody else who took away the cheese. So how can anybody else take away? And he was just very angry. And all he did was sit there and wait for them, that someone outside, to put back the cheese. And Haw also was stuck in that rhythm for a while. So let's come to the stages that he went through. So first they were in the stage to understand Haw's progress. Haw is the one who actually understood that, what needs to be done. So let's just go through these stages and how we can apply it to our life, as to how to adapt to change. So I'm sure we all have been stuck in such a position at some point in time where, or we are scared right now that, oh, I have this loving relationship, I don't want it to go. I have this money, we're always in fear. If we have money, oh, I'm going to lose it one day. Or, or we're looking for something, but we just don't know how to get there. So let's just go through the stages and see what it is that really stops us from getting what we want and in keeping our cheese, and to understand what's the law of nature. So, as my good friend Zung here has spoken about Tao Te Ching, it's an ancient Chinese literature, where also, as in our Hindu, actually, there are some of my Indian friends here. In the Hindu literature as well, it says that the law of nature is change. Change is ever present. If you look at nature, there's spring, winter, summer, there's day and night. I mean, the leaves, it's like always the waves, they're moving. We're always on the move. We're changing, we're growing. There's nothing that's stagnant. To be stagnant or to stay in one place without change is actually against the law of nature. So the minute you try, the whole idea is to try and flow with nature. So there itself, nature teaches us that change is the only thing that is constant. It's always changing. So, but the problem is, as human beings, as we have evolved, and and we've learned, to use all our complex brains, we get affected by our emotions, we get affected by our
Eight
past.
8 minutes.
Okay, we get affected by our past. So how do we get out of that rut, and how can we stay ahead in the game of change? So I'm just going to take you through these steps and see how we can apply it. So the first stage was, yes, cheese makes us happy, because we think if we have this cheese, it makes us happy. Actually, this, sorry, brought me to a very funny thing. In Hindi, for my friends who know Hindi, actually the word cheese actually means a thing, like, the actual objects. That's called a cheese. So, it's like it really relates that a cheese means a thing, or, something in our life.
Yes.
So of course, having that cheese makes us happy. And the thing is, the more important that cheese is to you, the more you want to hold on to it. That's our nature. And then we fear over it, and we work so hard to keep holding on to it. And so it says that if you do not change, you become extinct. Why is that? Because if you're left in that stuck situation and everything else around you has changed, but you refuse to change, you're going against the law of nature. And so how long can you survive? You won't survive. In their case, they were stuck in the cheese station without cheese. So physically, without cheese, they would die. So that's another way of looking at it. So what would you do? So the biggest question here, and I think the main thing we need to ask ourselves, and maybe that's why we are all part of QL, is what would you do if you weren't afraid? So most of the time, I feel that we are stuck in a place and we don't want to change because we have the fear of the unknown. We don't want to go out there in the world because what if this happens? What if that happens? And we have so much fear, and that's what really stops us. And for me personally, after joining QL, it's like I've really been able to cross that barrier. And so they also say, now how do I know, when it's time to move or when things are changing? So always keep checking back. Smell the cheese often so you know when it is getting old. So keep checking back with reality. See around you what's really happening with reality, and get a sense of, is it time for you to change?
10
So if you
minutes.
want to change, okay, I'm going to take one more minute. Sorry. Uh, the biggest thing that stops us is our fear. Like we said, we are afraid. And I think that's the one biggest, most that everyone can relate to. So it's about crossing your fear. But how do you do it? How do you cross your fear? He says that yes, once he crossed the fear, and whoever has done it before, you know that once you cross it, you feel free. So he, like, this is from the book, How realized he had been held captive by his own fear. Moving in a new direction had freed him. So how do you do that? You can do that by imagining yourself enjoying the new cheese, whatever it is that you want in your life. Already try to think about it, imagine it, feel how would it be like if you already had it. And the more you imagine it, you'll see the quicker you let go of the old and you're ready to accept the new. You've made a clearing to accept the new. And always it's better to go out there and try new things, and ultimately you will succeed because you will start imagining it. It's better than staying stuck where you are thinking that it's more dangerous out there. So also the old beliefs don't lead you to new cheese, and when you see that you can find new cheese, you start enjoying it. And that's how once you try it one time, the second, third, fourth, it becomes easier to keep adapting to change as it happens in your life. So noticing small changes early helps you adapt to the bigger changes that are to come. So basically this, I'll leave the chart for you all to look at and ponder over. This is the summary of what we just spoke about. Thank you. That's my sharing for today.
Thank you, Vidya.
Excellent, Vidya.
Thank you.
I'll just try to, and it's open to questions or comments. I'll pass this along to you all later. But I can leave that screen on if you all want to read it. Hello.
Yeah,
Hello.
I think you
Yeah.
see your face better.
Okay.
Later we can read. So it's more lively.
How do I unshare my slide? There.
Okay.
You're back.
I'm back. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Okay, so I press the time now for the Q&A session.
Yes.
Okay, go. Okay, so I start first, very quick one. Others can just think of question then ask. So you were mentioning how to identify when we need to change just now. And just quickly
Yeah.
you share how to know when we need
Yeah.
to change.
So it's about, see, normally we don't realize the change is coming because we stay in denial of certain things. Normally there are always clues out there. So it's to do, maybe, depending on what your most important cheese is, to do a reality kind of a check. So maybe you got to take a few minutes to ponder, to look within, to see where you are, where is your goal, and see, look around you and see what's changing. Some of the examples they gave is, it's like if it's you're in your business, see what's happening out in the market, in the rest of the market. If you're in the shop, small shop owner, and then there's a big mall next to you, like realize early that okay, that's where the trend is moving to. Or if you were selling books and then now everything is going digital, so there's a lot of movement in the market. Similarly, I mean, with the relationship, what I read in the book, and there was like the post conversation, they say if you're stuck in a relationship, maybe you can just try something different. Look at it. They don't say, I mean, chuck the person and go to another one. In the same relationship with the same person, maybe it's time to change your old habits and create new habits which make you happier in your relationship. So it's about realizing when you're stuck, you definitely know. But otherwise, I think it's more about looking at reality without like from a different frame of mind, like sniffing out, what's happening. I hope that answers your question.
Yes.
Okay, questions are open to everyone, or you're sharing your comments if you all have faced and overcome a fear, or found change in your life. Because a lot of, when you share your own story, we learn a lot um, in facing stuff, similar stuff in our own lives. Yes, my friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. No. Start.
Actually, I've never read the book, but I have watched a short video of the Who Moved My Cheese.
Yeah.
And in fact, I saw it on YouTube, so I probably could share the link with the rest of you later. But
Yeah, sure.
you raised a very interesting part earlier that about the change itself, and that we don't want we don't do the changes because we are so afraid of the uncertain. But perhaps that if you let go of the need to want to have something, or let go the I mean, you know what you want, but you don't make it like a must, that I must get that, I must be rich, or I must have this property, or I must be this successful or so on. You just say that I want that and I will go with the journey, then you will probably be less fearful about not having it eventually, because that way you'll be more free to make the decisions of, I want this, and it's okay if I don't get it, but I want this, I know that I want this, and I'll move along with it. So instead of saying that, if I don't get this, this is what I want, otherwise I can't leave then that's where your fear starts to build. So perhaps that's another way to look at it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, I think that's what they say in the book, don't attach your happiness with the cheese or with the things. So like you're saying, you
Yeah,
want
yeah.
it, you go after it, you get it, but don't attach your happiness with it, right? Is that what I understood correctly?
Yes, yes. That's pretty much what I'm saying.
Okay, yeah. Thank you. Yes, we have
Yeah.
time for more.
Perhaps Sri, can you share your experience on how you overcome your fear?
Okay. So for me, it was at the MMI actually. So that's when I actually realized that my whole life I've been, like living with fear. Till then, I didn't even realize, because maybe, for some people, a big incident happens and they have to deal with it. For me, it was just life was just going on. But I was at that point in my life where I wanted something to change. I wanted to go out there and do something. But of course, that fear was there, but I didn't realize that it was fear till I went to the MMI and they did the exercise, and then it's like in those 3 days journey, it just came back to me, and I realized how I've really been running my life out of fear. So how did I overcome it? Is by this, is by just saying, okay, I learned to say that it's okay if I'm scared, but I'm going to try it anyway. And I already I'm a great believer of the law of attraction, and believing and imagining the stuff that I want. And so every day I just used to sit and meditate and focus on what I want and didn't worry about how I was
Five
going to
minutes.
do it. So the minute I took away the how, it helped me to just create the image and just stay there with it and just keep doing whatever I was doing. And it slowly just evolved. And then I realized that, oh, I was scared of it. But once you did it, it's like, oh, it wasn't scary at all. And once I did it the first time and then the second time, and then it just, now I think after like 18 months, I'm like, okay, bring it on, whatever it is. It's just by practicing.
Thank you.
Okay, hope that helps. I
Yes.
mean, these guys know if you'd seen me 18 months back, I wouldn't have opened my mouth at all. And I can sit here and do a hangout, so that's a great achievement for me.
Yes.
Srividya,
Yeah.
what is the background of yours? Background means what
Background.
is the what you have done, and why you got so fear of all this, and only since 18 months you got able to overcome
Yeah,
fear
yeah.
and all.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I mean, I was doing quite well in my life. I'm from IT. I was a project manager about 8 or 9 years
Okay,
ago. Up until eight or
okay,
9 years ago, I'd worked for about 12 years. And I
okay,
left my job to take care of my children. At that time, my older one was born. And now
okay,
it was already, say, about 8 years, because my older one is 8 and 6. So about
okay,
8 months back, so they were about 7 years. So it'd been
okay,
7 years that I left my job and I was at home taking care of the kids. And I
okay,
moved from US to Singapore, so even like the place was new. And so I'd come up to
okay,
a point when my children had already, they started going to full day school. And then I wanted to, get
okay,
back to work.
okay,
And so that was a big fear. Like after so many years, how do you go and do it? And where do you do it? And what do you do? And there were so many questions. But that
okay,
was like, what I thought. But when I went to the MMI, I realized that even other aspects in my life, like
okay,
I was just driven by either what my sister told me or what my husband told me, or, I was always doing stuff for others.
okay,
And it's like I was scared to do anything by myself, even though I used to do a job by myself,
okay,
but that wasn't counted. That's like, you go to job and that's my area. But I mean, apart from that, in my own, in like wanting to do something for myself,
okay,
that area I had never ever done anything just for myself. So
Okay.
that's where now, so after creating all that, I just created, and now I've recently joined a startup, mostly full time, and it's
Okay.
almost like the profile exactly that I had created, and I just wanted to do this kind of a thing. So that's where, and now I go the whole day and work.
Okay.
They
See why
say
I
be
asked
careful
you.
what you, yeah, they say be careful
Yeah.
what you
Why?
wish for. Now
Yeah.
I'm like,
No. Why I
ooh,
asked you?
yeah,
Why I asked you? See, all the time you have moved to US. It's an open culture and all, and you moved to Singapore. It's all local culture. Then why the fear has been there in you? So that's what I want to know.
okay. Yeah, the fear was always there, but I never addressed it. I had never gone been. I just did whatever was in my comfort
Yeah.
zone. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
This was my
Okay.
job.
Okay.
See, job is your comfort zone. Okay, so I think for anyone going to a job and coming back wouldn't, in this context that we are now, where we're entrepreneurs or want to do stuff beyond the ordinary, like the normal
Yes.
job and the normal stuff. So like the comfort zone, I was always in my comfort zone. I never bothered to step out. It's like who
Okay.
would even bother, you know? Why to even
Okay.
bother?
Yeah.
Because the fear was
Okay.
telling me that, ah, it's okay, don't bother.
Okay.
Yes.
See?
Allow me to share something.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
many people focus on positive and negative things, right? The law of attraction shows us the powerful of the attraction where we think of positive and we attract the positive things. But right now, you see, most of us, we focus on fear. Why the fear is there but not achievement? If, because I'm a businessman, I'm also an entrepreneur, so I would like to put in this way, when you think of the achievement that you may achieve, so would it be better to think about fear? Of
No.
course, the fear is we can define it in the way that if you want to overcome the fear, first you must do whatever it takes. The second thing, you have no choice, which means we have no other way than this. That is the only way that you have. So you need to fight 100% all in for that. That is my point of view, because everybody fear because, oh, I still have the other chances, I still have the back door, so never mind, I just give a try. But for a businessman or for an entrepreneur, no, I have no more back road. I need to fight whatever it takes. So that is the achievement and the mindset of a person that who think positively and think negatively. Many people focus on fear, but I would like to focus more on achievement. What things that you may achieve if you, let's say, Sri, she just go to Singapore and then she just lives like that. She knows that she don't know anything about Singapore. She just overcome the fear, and right now she has the achievement that actually she may share it out with you today. So she actually overcome it, and this is the achievement that she had. So this is the thing that I would like to share. So that is only my point of view. So the fear, how to overcome the fear is very easy. Of course, it is not easy, but I like to put it in that way. If you do it 100%, so you won't have fear. Okay. Secondly, you don't have any choices anymore for your back. I mean, to back up you. Yeah. So that's from me.
Yeah, thank
Thank
you.
you.
I absolutely agree. I love that phrase, do whatever it takes. I absolutely love. And I think that's one of the phrases I tell myself all the time. Do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
somehow somehow make it happen. Yeah, I think that's one of the question like she asked, how do you overcome the fear, is you just do whatever it takes. Awesome. Awesome sharing. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So
I
any
think it's
more? I
time.
think we're running out of time for today. So we can continue our discussion offline on the group. So you can add more comments, sharing, and videos. Thank you, everyone, and see you on Tuesday. Bye
Thank
bye.
Thank
you.
you.
Bye bye.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Srividya. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.